The failing health of 90-year-old Senator Diane Feinstein is top of mind for Democrats and Republicans. On this Wired Wednesday, we're checking in with GV Wire's news director, Bill McEwen, to see if California Republicans can win a U.S. Senate seat. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. How you doing today?
Doing great. Hey, is there any chance that Senator Feinstein will resign before the end of her term?
Well, she appears to be very determined not to. I think that's the wish of the Democratic Party as well. As you know, she's been in failing health, and there have also been serious signs that her mental faculties are not all there. In a terrible situation, her family is already fighting over her considerable financial estate. So there's a lot of attention on this and a lot of concern.
Now, if she does stay on, who are the top candidates running on the ballot to replace her?
So, it's a Democratic fight, and you have Barbara Lee, who's a very liberal California Democrat. You have Adam Schiff, who's in the House of Representatives and wants to move up to the Senate. And of course, he's best known for taking on President Trump on a variety of fronts. He's a lawyer. And then you have Katie Porter, who achieved national attention a couple years ago when she won, but her star is not as big or as bright as it used to be. And the PPIC did some polling on this, and it showed that Katie Porter and Adam Schiff were in a very tight fight. And then when you look at the polling, no Republican was breaking out from the pack at all.
And speaking of that, when was the last time California had a Republican elected to the Senate?
Well, believe it or not, it's been more than 40 years ago. That was Pete Wilson. He became the U.S. Senator in 1983. 8 years later, he resigned after he won election as governor of California. So it's been a long, long time since a Republican has won election to the U.S. Senate from California.
Now, you wrote an interesting article saying that Arnold Schwarzenegger is thinking about making a political comeback. Could he run and win a Senate race?
Well, we know that Willie Brown, who's a Democrat, floated the idea recently of Arnold running again. Willie Brown, two-term San Francisco mayor, probably the most powerful speaker in the history of the assembly, very savvy on politics. He said that Arnold would win hands down, and it would be like the recall election all over again when Schwarzenegger obliterated Governor Gray Davis and was thrust into office. Now, I think some of this is hyperbole, but when you look at it, Schwarzenegger would have no problem raising the money. He could even spend his own money on the race. He's got the name profile. He's got the popularity and the sign. He's kind of been planting the seeds to this. Now, he's been on a big publicity tour because of his streaming series, but he sat down with Chris Wallace at CNN, and Arnold said, hey, I'd run for president if I could, and I'm pretty certain I'd win. Of course, because he was born in Austria, he's not a natural born U.S. citizen. He can't run for president. So clearly he's itching to get into politics in some way, whether it's elected office, I don't know. But I can tell you this, if he were to run, with the Democrats splitting the vote, he certainly would make the runoff next November for the election. And he'd inject a lot of excitement into this race, that's for sure.
Yeah. Fascinating. Bill McEwen with GV Wire. Thank you so much for your time on this Wired Wednesday.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.